Well, if you did not know, Epiphany marks the end of Christmas time. And one of my favorite movies to watch during Christmas time is the 1968 classic, The Lion in Winter. It's set in the year 1183, and it stars Peter O'Toole as King Henry and Katharine Hepburn of Eleanor of Aquitaine. It's kind of a Christmas movie in that it takes place over Christmas, but the plot of the film itself has nothing to do with the holiday. Imagine instead intense family drama, lots of shouting, high political tensions with Christmas decorations on the walls behind it. And as I'm describing this, I'm suddenly realizing that some of you probably don't need to use your imaginations. Some of you may have come from such holiday celebrations. To that I say, welcome home. Welcome back. If you like older period films, give this one a watch. It is one of my favorites. It is fantastic in many ways. And it has a wonderful script, too. Nearly the entire 2-hour film is quotable. There's one scene in particular, and if you were at Bible study this week, I'm sorry you're going to hear me repeat this right now, but stay with me, please. There's this one scene in the movie where King Henry is first really grappling with the fact that he is merely the King of England and not the king of his family. And he looks up at the sky and he reflects, "The sky is pocked with stars. What eyes the wise men must have had to see a new one in so many." Now, I know not to try and summarize a movie from the pulpit, even one that I consider to be essential viewing. It is bad preaching form, and frankly, it is kind of boring. But I am taking this chance with this small moment right here in this film, because while he invokes the Epiphany story, this tiny moment, King Henry is pointing directly to what all my heart and sense says is the treasure of Epiphany for us this year, because he does not ask it seriously. It is with eye-rolling, sarcastic, self-pitying regret that he looks up and says, "What eyes must they have had?" Because he already knows. He knows exactly what kind of eyes they had, what kind of sight they had. He knows it because he has been chasing after something similar to this for his entire life. And in this very crushing moment, he suddenly realizes, that he ain't got it. He ain't got it. While all the while thinking that he did. The story of Epiphany has many takeaways, many timeless lessons and themes to offer us. And this year in particular, in these muddy waters of war and pandemic and upheaval and tension and unease and anxiety, I am feeling so strongly that the message of Epiphany 2023 is simply patience. Patience. Because what eyes did the wise men have to see a new star? Well, eyes that they weren't born with, I'll tell you that much. Eyes that they needed to work for, expert eyes, practiced sight that knew where to look and what to look for, sight that none of them were born with. They had to work diligently to create such sight, perhaps over their entire lives up to that moment, and King Henry thought he could sidestep a lifetime of work with his cleverness, with control, with a sheer force of will, and it failed him. It failed him. But I don't fully blame him for trying. When we are young children, you and me, when we were young children, when we are developing our skills and our abilities and our interests, particularly toward a passion that we might have, it says something about how we enjoy life. That a good childhood is marked by a continual process of discovery and growth and creativity and chasing interests and passions. Adults give us that. We give that to children in their childhood. And then, when we become adults, that same kind of development of skill turns from enjoyment into productivity, What are you making? What are you doing? What are you producing? What is it for? What is its value? What is it going to do? Oof, the output. And the dread of this change leads many of us to either abandon that which sets our hearts and imaginations on fire, or, like King Henry, to try to cut corners, to take a shortcut, because the road of developing any sort of skill or talent or interest is as long as the one from Persia to Bethlehem and longer still, and all the while you are on it, the world is in the back seat saying, "Are you there yet? Are you there yet? Are you there yet? Are you there yet?" And you just want to learn how to knit, to sew or to bake. You want to write a book. You want to write poetry. You want to learn how to grow vegetables. You want to make a dining room table for your grandkid. You want to learn sign language, play piano. You want to map your genealogy. You just want to do something. And there's an antsy sort of attitude toward the long process of developing, and an unwillingness to wait and see, to trust the time that it takes. And I wonder if it is because we mistake patience that the journey requires. We mistake patience with idleness. That patience is counting to 10 in the grocery line. Patience is taking a deep breath as the traffic light stays red. Seeing patience as the absence of action, a hiatus of work, instead of choosing to see patience as the grounded energy that keeps your head in the game to get you through. We have so much praise and admiration for an end product, the thing at the end, but we have so little for the journey to get there. I am quite mindful, saying all of this, of the music that we have this morning. Every morning, truly, but this morning in particular, of all of these musicians and the collective thousands and thousands and thousands of unseen hours of practice to get to this moment, this performance here. How many might say over an entire lifetime? The scales and arpeggios and skill books, the one more time, the try it again, the slow it down, the almost there, the one more time. That behind every breathtaking piece of art, every good book, every delicious meal, every moving piece of music is hour upon hour upon hour of sometimes grueling process. But no one gets any of this without that behind. And patience is the ember of calling that brushes aside the tedium and frustration and with confidence says, because this is the only way to get there, I will do it. I will walk it. I will do the time. I will do the work to get there. There is no sidestepping, no shortcuts, no substitution for the diligence and patience of the process. It cannot be forced or hemmed or Mickey Moused into being. All of this time, the last 900 words or so, I have been talking about skills, talents, and hobbies, not because that this is the only arena in which to talk about it, but because this is where we start talking about it. This is where we start really understanding epiphany patience, how we can understand together what it takes to make something, because maybe it isn't a skill or a talent or a hobby that you wish to develop or make, but it is your life. The moving piece you want to perform is you. The beautiful thing you want to paint is you. The deep thing, interesting, dynamic thing you want to write is you. The beautiful, meaningful thing you want to bring into its absolute fullness is your life. And on that road, that process, you deserve the patience to get there. Like the Magi, you deserve the patience to take the patience, to walk the straight roads with your map in hand, just as much as wander through the deserts with your heads cocked to the sky. You deserve the patience to look back and not recall the 100 miles behind you and cherish for a lifetime the single step you are about to take. You deserve to fall flat on your face and have no idea how it happened, but then to get up. The patience to put one foot in front of the other and continue on. You deserve to create you in as much time as it takes to memorize 10,000 stars in the sky, because there is no other route, no other way to look up with the eyes to see that there, right there on the horizon, something is new and brilliant, shining and holy, calling you up for the next blessed mile ahead. Amen.